Imagine a single piece of paper worth more than a luxury car, and it's not even a note that was ever used to buy something. It's a specimen that never entered circulation. It wasn't printed in Europe or America, but on a small island nation in the Indian Ocean, Zanzibar. Today we'll find out why one banknote from this tiny archipelago became a legend among collectors and reveal 10 facts about Zanzibar itself. On January 1st, 1908, the Zanzibar government issued its first banknotes in denominations of 5, 10, 20, and 100 rupees. They were printed by Waterlow and Sons of London, the same firm that produced currency for dozens of British colonies. The front of the 20 rupee note shows a traditional Arab dhow sailing boat on the left and 9 workers harvesting cloves on the right. The text appears in Arabic, English, and Gujarati, a small detail that says a lot about Zanzibar's mixed Arab, Indian, and African society at the time. This note is often called the most expensive banknote ever issued on the African continent. Surviving examples have sold at auction for anywhere between roughly 100,000 and over 200,000 US dollars, about 190 to 210,000 euros at today's exchange rate. Why is it so valuable? First, very few examples survive. The Zanzibari rupee only existed for 28 years, from 1908 to 1936, when it was replaced by the East African shilling, and old notes were withdrawn and largely destroyed. Second, German bombing of London during the Second World War also destroyed the archives of Waterlow and Sons, which held the original color trial specimens. As a result, only a handful of these unique trial prints are known to survive anywhere in the world today, but the story gets even more interesting. The 20 rupee note is only one piece of a much bigger picture. Over its lifetime, the Zanzibar government issued 7 different denominations: 1, 5, 10, 20, 50, 100, and 500 rupees. The 50 and 500 rupee notes were added in 1916, and the 1 rupee note followed in 1920. In April 2011, the London auction house Spink sold a remarkable item, a complete set of 1908 specimen notes bound in a gold-trimmed leather presentation album. It sold for more than $287,000, but the real-world record came later. In 2019, the same auction house sold a complete set of all 7 denominations, 1 note of each value, for a combined total of more than $852,000. That remains the highest price ever paid for a single world banknote set at a public auction. That same sale also revealed which Zanzibar note is actually the most valuable of all, and it isn't the 20 rupees. It's the 500 rupee note from 1920, which alone sold for $288,000, a record for any single Zanzibar banknote. And remember that elusive 50 rupee note, hard to put a price on. In the same 2019 sale, it reached $180,000. So it does exist, and it's extremely valuable. It simply appears at auction far less often than the others. Now that we know the money side of the story, let's look at the island where it all happened. 1. The name Zanzibar comes from a Persian and Arabic phrase meaning coast of the black people, referring to the dark-skinned inhabitants early traders encountered. 2. People have lived on these islands for at least 20,000 years, based on Stone Age tools found by archaeologists. 3. In 1832, the Sultan of Oman, Said bin Sultan, moved his entire capital from Muscat to Zanzibar, turning the island into the heart of a trading empire. 4. Zanzibar was also at the center of one of history's darkest chapters. In the mid-1800s, as many as 50,000 enslaved people passed through the island's Malindi port every year on their way to the Middle East. 5. In 1896, Zanzibar entered the record books for another reason. It was the site of the shortest war in recorded history. British warships bombarded the Sultan's palace, and a ceasefire was declared just 38 minutes later. 6. Zanzibar, together with neighboring Pemba Island, is nicknamed the Spice Islands. Cloves, nutmeg, cinnamon, and black pepper are grown here, and in the 20th century, Zanzibar was the world's leading clove producer. 7. Zanzibar declared independence from Britain on December 10, 1963. Just a month later, on January 12, 1964, a revolution overthrew the Sultan, and only a few weeks after that, in April 1964, the country merged with neighboring Tanganyika to form what is now Tanzania, meaning fully independent Zanzibar lasted only a few months. 8. In 1973, Zanzibar became the first place in sub-Saharan Africa with color television broadcasts. ahead of mainland Tanzania. 9. Stone Town, Zanzibar's historic center, is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, prized for its unique blend of Arab, Persian, Indian, and European architecture. 10. Besides Freddie Mercury, Zanzibar is also the birthplace of Abdulrazak Gurnah, who won the Nobel Prize in Literature in 2021. So the next time you hear the word Zanzibar, don't just think of white beaches or Freddie Mercury. Think of a tiny piece of paper worth more than a luxury car. If you enjoyed this video, hit like, subscribe to Worthless Banknotes for Valuable People, and let us know in the comments which country's currency history you'd like us to cover next.